All right, welcome back, everybody. I think we're probably on episode 26, 27. Don't quote me on that. My video team will put the right number up there. But I'm excited today. We bring in a guest that I get to meet. Haven't had a lot of deep conversations with Jen yet, so I'm excited to kind of see what that looks like today. So Jen Thompson, thanks for joining our show, The Leverage Podcast. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how you make money.
Sure. So I'll just get started at the beginning. And I spent 32 years in advertising and marketing. I had an advertising agency for 13 years. I've had multiple businesses, and the primary end of my marketing agency was learning to scale businesses. So that's what I did for other businesses, as well as marketing and all this other ball of wax. So then the end of last year, I actually moved into a healing space where I'm helping people heal through trauma, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, like all these really cool things. And I've applied the practices that I learned from all my other businesses, specifically the business scaling business, and applied them to what I'm doing now, which is really awesome and cool.
Love it. Love it. How are you helping business owners, or even in your own world with your experience, begin to look at scaling? Like, talk to me a little bit about the methodology about that. Obviously, we could do an entire one-day course or more on that, but just kind of summarize for me what that kind of looks like in your world.
Well, back in the day, it used to look like systems and operations, but now it looks like healing your inner child. So I found that in the systems and operations that a lot of the time what's holding people back is themselves. They have self-limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome and all these things going on internally, which if you have systems and processes, they will not system and process you through these things that you do to yourself to self-sabotage. So I moved from one scaling space to another scaling space in essence, and I help them scale themselves so they stop getting in their own dang way.
Makes sense. And once you kind of heal that, I know I've had like coaches in the past. I'm a big kind of business focused guy, and a lot of that coaching around that was right in a maybe a slightly different way. This is your expertise in your space, but he would coach me around like if things aren't right in a simple manner at home, it ain't gonna be right in business. You know what I mean? It's like if you're struggling with your spouse, if you're struggling with an addiction, if you're struggling with just being happy in life, I think basically put in a non-intelligent explanation, right? It does have an impact on who you are and how you show up every day.
Well, yeah. And then just think about the stories you've told yourself in your head where you show up in a room and you think, oh my God, these people have done so many things that I haven't done. What am I doing here? Right? It's just a self-limiting belief. And when you run up against these things and your house being you is not in order, it's really hard to overcome that in business. And so you can system and process and market and do all the things. But if you're stopping yourself from reaching that eventual like apex, there's nothing you can do until you start working on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it takes, obviously, just like any other good coach, mentor, or training program, right? It takes an outsider to come in and work people through it. I always try to tell people, like, coaches are invaluable, in my opinion, right? And I think I see the most successful people have multiple coaches, right? One could be a fitness coach, one could be a business coach, one could be a psychological coach, right? A healing coach, those type of things, right? You pick what's your flavor, right? Or what your most necessary need is. But I think two people get skirmish about, I don't want to pay coaches. It's like, well, then how are you going to grow? How are you going to fix your issues, right?
Well, the deal is this, is like you can go wander around and you can pick up tools off the ground. It'll take you a really long time, but eventually you'll get them all because people drop stuff. Or you can just go to Home Depot, a coach, and they have all the tools available and they have people to show you how to use them. That's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a great analogy. I think we use that a lot of times in this virtual assistant world too. It's like you can go hire it yourself. Absolutely. But you're going to learn a lot along the way, which is great, but it's probably going to cost you money and cost you time. So do you want a faster solution with expertise, or do you want to go figure it out yourself? And I don't know in my world if either one's necessarily wrong. I'm just going to help people get there a little bit quicker, a little bit faster.
We're just folding time. That's all we're doing. We're just folding time.
100%. What's something you're like kind of your biggest focus on growing right now as a business?
Well, we're relatively new, so we're systems and processes, right? I mean, that's where it all starts. So we're systems and processes. We're working on some staffing stuff. We're working on, we call it right butt, right seat. Good fit, because we changed our complete business model and now we're doing something completely different. And so it's figuring out who's going to do what and where and when, and then how can we use automation? How can we use AI? Because AI does not replace people. It is a tool, just like any other tool, and you need people that know how to use AI. AI is not going to replace you. So we lean into that and be like AI forward, and then what person can manage that so that it actually works.
I love that, because I hear that a lot of times too, right? Is AI is enhancing people. it's not replacing people, right? And
For
I say
sure.
that all the time, right? Business owner, it's enhancing their strategical deep thinking and building structure and departments and processes. An admin, it's enhancing an admin because it's taking some tasks off their plate. So that way it's not a bad thing that it's automating some of those redundant tasks. It's allowing the admin or the virtual assistant in our world to actually work on higher level type things. What used to be the bar, right, for an admin, and not in a negative connotation, was, hey, 20 years ago it was this. 20 years later, they're actually working on things that are now at a higher level of importance to the business. Not to say those weren't important.
More quickly. That's it. It just helps you do it faster. It's just a tool to get there faster. It is not a replacement for sure.
1,000%. What's one thing that you're doing today that most people in your industry are not doing?
Oh, we're using automation and AI. Most people in what I'm doing are very woo-woo, and they don't necessarily have the tech background that I do or the marketing background that I do. And so I'm utilizing tools I had in the past to bring them forward, to have systems, processes, automation, an app on your phone, and all these reminders, and doing all these really cool things that most people in my space haven't even thought of yet, because they're healers, which I am as well, but they're healers and they're focused on the healing and they forget about the process.
Makes a lot of sense. What is what does an ideal client for you look like? Like if you had to say, like, this is a person that ideally needs my services or my coaching and consulting, who would that person be?
It's typically a high achiever who has hit a roadblock of why they can't get to the next level, because 100% of the time it is them. If you've made it to a certain level and you can't get past that level, it's not because of a tool, a system, a process. It's not because any of those things, is because you are holding yourself back. And so 100% of the time you're the problem and 100% of the time you're the solution. And I believe that firmly. And it tends to happen right around the 40s, the midlife is when people realize they're just really sick of their own crap and that they haven't made it where they want to go and that they are the problem and they're ready to do something about that.
Yep, absolutely. And I think it's a different maturity level, right? At that 40s and 50s too. I mean, I'm at that age, so I can kind of speak to that, right? Like it looks a lot, it looks a lot different, right? To me, as when I was getting coached in my 30s versus in my 50s, right? I'm a little more authentic. I'm a little more straightforward, right? Those type of things, which is really cool for me because that's how I am now. It's like, just tell me what I need to know, right? Don't hold back. Just tell me.
And also, like, there's a layer of self-awareness, right? Where you're like, you used to be like, oh, it's because of that guy, it's because of this business, it's because of this thing. Now we just know it's just us. It's like, I'm the problem. So what do I do?
Just give me solutions. Let me go figure it out, right? And I think that's the other thing I talked to, like the last guest too, because he was talking a lot about leadership. Was my other thing is emotional intelligence, right? And he's like, yeah, those all work together. And I'm just like, I feel like people are missing several things, right? Self-awareness, right? Leadership, and I would just wish people had a better emotional intelligence. But then I sit here and go, do I have better emotional intelligence just because of my age, right? I tolerate less stuff. I let less stuff bother me. And I think it's just because of some of it's a maturity process, right?
Well, I mean, also you've swung the bat enough times that you know where the sweet spot is. And so if you swing it enough times and you don't hit the sweet spot, then obviously you're doing something wrong.
100%. Yeah. Right? And I come from a background of coaching like a lot of real estate agents back in the day, right? And it's like, I have to be liked by everybody. And you quickly figure out that's not, that'll wear you out.
You have to be liked by you, period.
Correct.
And the right people will align, period.
1,000%. What gives you the most leverage today in your business or in your personal life, whatever the case is? It could be people, it could be a system, and it may be the AI, as you just talked about.
The most leverage is really AI, because I can have a really small staff and be very agile, and things I can fix and change on the fly based on feedback or response or whatever. And I don't have to wait for 95 iterations and 4 people to look it over. I'm very small, I'm very agile, and I can just do things, and it's great. And I love it.
I love that. And it's fun because I talk a lot of times about like, where do you, the next growth pattern I think people are going to struggle with or are struggling with, right, is always chasing that next software, that next tool, right? And it's like, where do we start to draw the line? I tell somebody the other day, it's like apps on the phone. When they first came out, they were kind of clunky. There was just a handful of apps. Now, I bet there's a billion apps out there in the world. It's like it's you're lost at sea. So I really want to question. It was just more of an interesting dynamic I see, and I think that's where AI is now, right? It's like everybody's creating their own knockoff version, right, of ChatGPT and selling it as something bigger and better.
Yeah.
and then wrapping you into a 12-month contract.
Yeah. At least.
Let's see. Where do you see people struggling with the leverage side? Like, where should they be delegating, and you're seeing them spend too much time in that zone?
So it's like a lot of people spend a lot of time looking for the easy button, looking for the next tip, trick, or tool. And this applies not just to your personal development, but everything in your business, right? You're like, well, if I just get this software, to your point just a moment ago, or I just hire this person, or I just do this thing, all of a sudden, all the things are going to change. And that's never true. It's just never true. What has to happen is you have to have a real hard talk about where you are and where you want to go. And then what tool or person or thing are you going to use to get there? And what does it look like if that's not actually where you're meant to go? And this applies to everything in business, right? It's not, there is no like magic switch that's going to fix everything. You have to lean in, you have to do the work. You have to be willing to be really self-aware, and you have to be willing to change and be open to the idea that maybe the way you're thinking is not the right way, or maybe not the best way, or whatever. And that's it.
And I find like that's where obviously coaching becomes really important, right? And it's not like one coach knows every software or every tool, like that's not acceptable, but they can help you ask the right questions, right? To get to make that best decision. And so for me, that's a lot of what I think AI does help in some of those capacities, right? To help kind of generate enough thought-provoking ideas to say, does this support my mission or not? But I think there's always a humanistic piece to having a conversation, right? With a coach who knows your business, right? To be able to say, does this align? That's what I see most business owners do, right? And I'm one, they're squirrels, right? It's like, hey, we're going to chase this today, this idea. Now we're going to go over here and add this one in. And now we end up with 52 different goals during the year. Instead of saying, pick the core 3, hammer them, kick their ass, and then let's add more at that point in time.
Exactly. Well, we've all got shiny object syndrome, right? I mean, how many softwares have you paid for in your life that you never ever used one time because you're like, this is the coolest thing ever, and then it was just too hard or too distracting or too whatever, and then you're just like, you never touched it again.
Yeah, everybody wants to jump on the like pioneering aspect of a new, highly marketed, talked about product, and then you find out like 6 months later, they ain't using it anymore because it didn't quite take off like the market. The marketing was great, right? It's what it boils down
to.
100%. What's a lesson that you've learned the hard way?
There's so many lessons I've learned. I've learned every lesson the hard way, every single one. Let's be real. I'm a business owner. That's the only way I learn. The hardest one though really was being really super self-aware and understanding like what I do and do not want to do and who I want to work with. I think that was one of the most challenging things because we all think all money is good money and all money is not good money. And I think that's really the hardest learned one of all the hard things I've learned is just like, don't work with people you don't want to work with just for dollars. It's not worth it. You'll find more dollars. You aren't going to find your sanity. You're not going to find your peace. And you definitely don't want to work with those people. So walk away from bad people. Just leave.
Yeah, I love that concept, and I'll bring it around. People won't like this one, but it's okay. Like as a real estate agent running a really, really sizable, productive team back 10 years ago, well, one of my examples was not all business is good business, right? And there's a couple examples to that is I want $500,000 more than what my house is worth. Why would I take that business? I can't sell it for that. Like I don't have a magic wand. All you're going to do is be frustrated with me because I can't get that price for it. That's not how the market works, right? Or, hey, you want to knock my commission down by 2% down to 1%. I know you're going to be a very difficult client for me, and it's probably not worth my headache, right? In my example, right, of that. I just find that people that are reasonable and willing to work together tend to have a better relationship and better results versus it's always about, one way or the other, shall we say.
Manageable expectations is what I like to call it. And the second that somebody comes at you with unrealistic expectation and is unwilling to hear why, just run away, just run.
1,000%. And I always try to tell people there's so many businesses and so many client potentials out there. You can be particular in what you want. But I know when we first start businesses, right, we need the revenue. So we're going to take anybody and everybody, generally speaking. As we get more seasoned, in my opinion, you may disagree with this, but as we get more seasoned, then I'm able to be more selective. But you learn a lot by taking on anybody and everybody and who you don't want to work with.
I will say in my first couple businesses, I was very eager to take on anybody and everybody. Now that I've had several businesses and exited a couple, I am less likely to do that. Even in this new venture I'm in now, I'm like, yeah, no, this is not a good fit. So carry on. I'm not willing to do it anymore. You're not allowed to steal my piece.
1,000%. Yeah, no. And usually those business opportunities are not worth the headaches that you had to go through for the dollar earned. You generally are making less on the hourly rate based on those clients. What is something entrepreneurs are consistently underestimating?
Oh boy, they underestimate their capacity to do things. Honestly, we are capable of so many great and amazing things, and we just limit ourselves because we're like, oh, money's hard. Oh, this is hard. Oh, I don't belong here. Oh, I shouldn't talk to that person because I'm bothering them. Blah, 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 blah. We constantly underestimate our ability to do things, to connect with people, to do amazing, great, big things. And if we could just get out of our own damn way, we'd be unstoppable, but we don't.
That's great. I love that. And, mindset is everything. Like, that's the reality of it. And I know that's one of your specialties, obviously, is coaching around that aspect of it. And I really, truly believe that because so many people either are insecure, right, or have what I call a scarcity mindset, right? It's like, hey, that's not possible. Well, who says it's not possible? You say it's not possible.
Yeah.
But everything's possible. What trends are you paying attention to right now?
I'm paying attention to AI. I want to know what's going on there. I want to see what's new and upcoming. I want to see use cases. Prompt engineering's gone out the window. We don't need to do that anymore. We need to think. We need to think and be strategic, and then feed the strategy and let the machine figure it out. So I am all in on understanding how that's going to work, how it's going to be implemented into business, how it's going to be implemented into life, and how we can utilize that tool in really meaningful ways to just go faster.
It's an interesting thing, and I'm pretty AI smart, but not that smart, right? I can definitely use it to what I need to do business, create websites, to do my business models, all of that. But really studying it in depth as to where it's going, that's not my strong suit. But I can imagine this is probably a lightning path growth of something that's going to be probably grows so fast and become so important, faster than anything else I've ever seen.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just think about, we were alive when the internet was invented. And so think about when that happened, we were all like, what the heck is this? And that's never going to work, right? Well, here we are. And now this is the next internet craze. And I'm very curious about how is this going to impact our lives, and how is it going to make business better, faster, and more meaningful? And then it allows us time to actually connect with each other instead of being busy in all this minutiae that a machine can handle. So then we actually get to be people to people. People think it's going to tear us apart. I think it's going to bring us together.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I have a well-known mentor that I have a great respect for that said probably even 5-6 years ago, maybe this is overselling it, but it's very possible that AI may become the next industrial revolution, right? Sure. Meaning this is like the train system, right? The manual, just like this may become, it's been decades since we've had a quote unquote industrial revolution type thing. So anyways, it's interesting to me to see some of the people saying this literally will be a world changing.
I hope so. I hope we get to work less and have more meaning and more connection and more people time, because we got away from that. And I hope we come back to it. And that's really what I'm looking forward to with AI, is that, we're not going to spend so much time being busy, but we're going to spend more time being productive. And then we can hang out with each other and really connect.
Absolutely. Well, let me wrap up the kind of the summarization questions with what's one leverage advice you would give to somebody, right, that is trying to get to that next level, whether it's a software, again, a people, a budget, whatever.
I would say that the sooner you start working on yourself, the better, because the less you get in your own way, the faster you're going to get there. And then you're going to connect with the right people and be in the right places at the right time to meaningfully move your business forward. Tools are tools. They're going to be there. They come and they go. But the sooner you work on yourself, the faster you'll go.
Yeah, I think that's smart for sure, because it's like I always say, people say your energy draws the people around you, right? And so if you don't have good, positive, healthy energy, then you're going to drag the negative, pessimistic people that drive you nuts.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, let me hit the lightning round with you, Jen. Favorite business book?
Oh, Buy Back Your Time. I love that book. I love that book. I love that book. I will tell everybody, even if you don't own a business, read it immediately. It is an amazing, helpful. It doesn't repeat itself. It doesn't go over it again and again. It is useful in every freaking chapter. It is one of the best books I've ever applied to my business, period.
Oh man, that's my love language. I literally have like 100 of these around my office because we give them out as gifts all the time to people. And
Best
like,
gift you can give to anybody ever. It is a great book.
in fact, it's usually one of my guest books that I send out. So I will find something different for you.
You're probably going to send me some incense and something weird.
All right, this is a fun one. Best purchase under $100.
I'm going to tell you it's the book, man. I will tell you it was the book. That thing changed everything we did in business when it came out. I swear to you, just go get it. Everybody go get it. Go ahead.
Dan Martell, the man. Favorite AI tool?
Claude. I'm in love with him. Also, he ticks me off on a regular. So, but I love him. It's like a love-hate. It's like a relationship. Basically, we're dating. We're exclusive.
And my wife says the same thing. She's like, your girlfriend is X because I'm always in the talking to.
Yeah, Claude is my best friend, but also my worst enemy.
What app do you open the most on your phone? It's a little fun question.
Oh, goodness gracious. It's going to be Facebook because I'm always on there marketing and I'm always looking at comments and see what's going on and yada, yada, yada. And I hate it, but I love it.
But yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah.
What's your most impactful habit?
Every day I get up and I spend my first 3 hours with myself. I exercise, I sit in the sauna and I meditate. I take that time exclusively for me. I don't take business calls. I don't check my email. I do nothing but focus on me first thing in the morning. And I'm telling you, it changed my life, not just because I'm fit, but also because mentally I have that space to just be quiet with myself. And really, like, my mind, when it runs wild, invents so many cool things if you just like sit quietly and let it do it.
100%. Yeah, I wish I was, I know that is like the recommended practice all the time for me is like, don't turn your phone on. Do not, like, your sense of peace for that first 30 minutes to an hour in the morning is so pivotal. No TV, certainly meditation, right? All of those things. And I'm mediocre at it, but I absolutely could be 100% better.
It's called a practice for a reason. Practice.
Absolutely. Let's see. A belief you have that most entrepreneurs disagree with.
Well, it's the one, not all money is good money. That's one that a lot of people are like, I'll take all the money I can in the whole wide world. I remember the day I fired a $30,000 a month client and everyone was like, you're insane. I was like, they steal my peace. I hate working with them and I will find more money. I promise you, but this ain't it. And so that's one, because people will chase that dollar and steal their peace and their time. And I'm just not willing to do it.
I think that's the age thing with me is like, I just don't give a damn. Like, I'm like, I'll find other opportunities. This isn't my first rodeo.
Exactly. Like, I know how to make money and it ain't this way.
Exactly. One thing you'd never delegate.
Oh, the creativity. It's my favorite thing on the planet. I'm a visionary and I love to visionary. And so I don't think that ever in this world I'll delegate that to anybody. I love to do that part. The rest of it, I'm not wild about. I'm not wild about the minutiae, and I'm not wild about the little tedious stuff, but I love to think of new ideas and fix things. It's so fun for me.
I love that. I mean, I think it was the Rocket Fuel book, right? The Visionary and the Integrator, right? And it's like, I'm the visionary type too. So I've got to surround myself with integrators. In my world, I'll speak anyways, or nothing gets done because I'm always the visionary. Like, hey, here's something. Let's do this.
God love the integrators because I can't do what they do and they can't do what we do. And I love them.
And they thrive off of that. And that's where their energy zone is. It's not where my energy zone is. And they don't thrive on being a visionary because it's not their energy zone. So they work really well together for sure. What's your definition of leverage?
My definition of leverage is not work harder. It's work smarter for sure. And it's like utilize the things around you, utilize tools, utilize people, let people fail forward. Stop trying to micromanage all that stuff. Let them fail forward. Let them make mistakes. It's how we learn as adults and as humans. And so if you're not allowing people to fail forward, you're never going to leverage their capabilities because they think you don't trust them and they will not perform to their utmost ability because they'll be scared to make a mistake.
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. Do you have any final thoughts? We will get your information here before I wrap up on the show. So I'll get your, what's the best way for our audience to get a hold of you, but any closing thoughts on your behalf?
It's never too late to like learn something new. And it's about yourself, about others, about business, about anything. And stop thinking that because people don't do it the same way or as well as you would do it, that they can't do it. 80% is good enough. Let it be good enough.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. Awesome. How could people reach out to you if they want to explore any of your coaching, any of your consulting, any of your healing, any of the processes, systems? What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
It's Jen at sillygirl, PSILY girl.com. You can shoot me an email or my phone number is all over the world, 517-862-6671. You can text me, set up a call, and I'm happy to talk to you about anything you have questions about.
Awesome. And as our guests know, they have a Rolodex of all of our partners on these calls. And whether it's 2 days from now, a year from now, we will always have the information. Reach out to me. Let me know. We can connect you. I've had guests in past podcasts sometimes reach out a year and a half later saying, hey, I just got that episode from a year ago. How do I connect with them? So always happy to be that connection point for everybody. I think that's one of my geniuses or one of my strengths is I love being a connector. It's all about helping others be successful. And that's why I do these podcasts as well, right? So Jen, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate you. And we're going to close this episode off. And everybody, thanks so much. And we'll talk soon.